In this video I'm going to show how to repair the foam surrounds on these Porsche 928 speakers. You can see what the original one looks like, where the foam is basically disintegrating around the edge. You can see gaps in it around there, and it's all basically not really doing anything. So that will be coming off and will be replaced by this new rubber on this one that I've done here. So I'll go through the process of removing it from the car, cleaning it up and fitting the new one, and then refitting them into the car. Before I can remove the actual speaker, I need to remove this grille that's in front of it. These can get quite brittle. You can see this one's already cracked here. To get it off, I'm going to use a trim removal tool around the outside, like this one. I'm going to put a bit of a plastic card behind it to make sure I don't mark the leather on it. And on the outside of this, there are some little gaps where you can help to get in. So if you just feel around with your finger for it, I can feel there's a gap at the bottom there. You can just see there, small gap, so I'm going to be able to get in there to lever it through there. So I shall just get this cover off, and then we can see the speaker underneath. Now with the cover off, we can see on the back of it where the actual latches are that hold it in place. There's one there and one there. And there's one pip which goes at the top, so the actual bits that hold it are sort of on each side, there and there. So that's now off, and we can see the state of the speaker. As you can see in here, the foam around the edge is pretty much completely destroyed, and the speaker's held in place with just 4 screws, so 4 positive drive screws. So I'll get those out, and we can remove the unit. Here's the speaker, and it's been removed. You can see there are 2 electrical connectors on the back of it. One of them connects here, which is very easy to get at. That's for the incoming signal. The other one actually goes to a connector which is down here, which you won't be able to see. Now that was much more awkward to get at. I've had to remove this other speaker to get to it, so it's sort of up there. I can just feel it up there. So it came out by just pulling it, but I think it's going to be a lot more awkward to get it back in, so I shall have to cross that bridge when I get to it. So now with the speaker out, I'm going to take it inside to clean it up and look at fitting the new rubber. Now that it's out of the car, I need to clean up, get the old foam off. I'm just going to do that by going around the edge. It comes off very easily from the plastic, so I'm just going to use this screwdriver just to scrape it off and very gently remove it from the cone. So I'm just going to go around and get as much off of that as I can. With the foam removed from the speaker, I can have a look at fitting the new rubber. So it basically fits on like this. There is one issue with it, in that on the original speaker, as you'll see, there's a ridge all the way around the outside which interferes with where the rubber needs to sit. So before I can fit the rubber, I need to cut that off. On the first one of these that I did it using a sharp knife and a plane. It took me a long time to do it. So I'm going to remove this one using a Dremel, and hopefully it'll be a lot faster. As expected, it was much quicker and easier with the Dremel to remove that lip. So now I've got a flat surface all the way around the edge to glue the rubber onto. So the rubber will basically sit on there like that. I'm going to be gluing it on using this particular glue. It's a very thin super glue. You can see the details of it on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the glue to the outside of the cone first, then I'll place this on, and then to hold it onto the cone, I'm just going to use this as a weight. This will just sit on the inside. It just happens to be the right diameter to sit on the inside of that edge, and it's just going to push that edge down onto the cone, and then I shall leave that for an hour or so for the glue to set properly. The inside edge is now glued. I've just dribbled a bit more around a couple of areas just to make sure everything's okay. So I'm now going to go around the outside. So for this, I'm just going to lift up the edge, put the tip of the glue in, and just run it all the way around. And then I'm going to use this basin, which is just the right size to sit on top. So I'm going to put that on there and then weight it down to make sure it pushes around all of the circumference. I've now got the speaker and the wiring back in place. As expected, the most difficult one was this connector here. I managed to get it up into this hole where the speaker was removed. So I managed to get the two halves of the connector together. There's really not much space on it, it's quite difficult, so that lives further down there. So I'll just push that back down there. So now the 4 screws can go back on and I can refit the smaller speaker and then just push the covers back into place. Speaker's now back in place and the covers are back on, so that's the job finished. I'm also going to look at the other speakers in the back, so I'll probably do the same job on these, because these two are the rear ones, will probably have the same issues, and there are also other speakers on the front door as well, so I shall also be doing the same with those. So in total it looks like there are 6 speakers which will probably benefit from having this work done to them.